Spirit, we want to relinquish the ego. We want to get rid of this thing that I think that I am so that I can remember what I really am. I'm not this body. I'm not this thing that's fading out of time. I'm the thing inside the thing. And I have power over everything. We relinquish the ego. We return it to nothing, because that's all the ego can give us is nothing. It gives us time. So time is really nothing because it's not real. You can't touch or feel time. You're outside of reality every time that you believe in time out there. And so the ego can only produce fear and unreal visions. All of reality can either be anticipated or remembered. So if you're anticipating reality and you're remembering reality, where's reality, right? Where could it be? Where could it be? That's the only thing the egoic mind can do, is it doesn't want to see reality. It sees the visions. And so we're coming back to the real thing that is a part of reality, that can only give you reality, that will only let you see reality, and that's God. That's God. Faith, belief, and vision. This is chapter 21 out of A Course in Miracles. Sub-chapter, it's in there. We've been rocking through it. Okay, faith, belief, and vision. Before I lose my place all the time. There we go. Now we're set up for success. All special relationships have sin as their goal. Everything that you make special outside of you, you have made sin as the goal, because you gave it the ability to be special, to give you something different, and now you're going to hold it accountable when it doesn't act the way that you want it to act. So all of the people that you have made special, sin has been the goal. I know it's hard to hear, but hey, it's the truth of the mind, so here we are. For they are bargains with reality. They are bargains with reality. You bargain with time inside of your mind alone, and you think that it's just part of being a human, but it's part of being a human, yes, but it's not a part of being God, which is what you really are. And so, for they are bargains with reality, toward which the seeming union is adjusted. Forget not this, semicolon. To bargain is to set a limit, in any brother or sister with whom you have a limited relationship, you hate. If you have a limited relationship with anybody, you are actually letting them know that you don't trust them, and no trust means that you don't really like them at all, right? You're letting them know that I've limited you as a human. I've limited you to your fear. I've limited you to your past. I've limited you to what I think that you're going to do to me in the future. So I really have just placed hate upon you. I have placed hate upon you from my own mind. I made you a hateful vision, a hateful symbol, a body, a hateful symbol outside of me. And now that's where I'm projecting all my hate and sin. Right? Hey, we're doing good. All right. You may attempt to keep the bargain in the name of fairness. The bargain of this body has to act this way, or I'm not going to love it this way, right? So there's a bargain. You may attempt to keep the bargain in the name of fairness, sometimes demanding payment of yourself, perhaps more often of the other. So this is like when you change what you are so that you can appease the idol outside of you. You're appeasing the idol, the body. When it becomes your sole focus outside of you, you're now idolizing that thing. That is your ego idolizing nothing really, because you trap it in time and then you do all the stuff with it. So thus in fairness, you attempt to ease the guilt that comes from the accepted purpose of the relationship. And that is why the Holy Spirit must change its purpose to make it useful to Him and harmless to you. Your mind is harmful when you believe in fear. You have to admit it to yourself. Every time that you have fear inside of you, you are harming your whole entire reality, your thought system. You're believing in the unreal thoughts of fear more than what's around you. You're creating time backwards and forwards. And so there is a bargain. So thus in fairness, you attempt to ease the guilt that comes from the accepted purpose of the relationship. And that is why the Holy Spirit must change its purpose to make it useful to your higher self, to Yeshua, who's inside of you, not outside of you. God could never be out there. Have you seen out there? We're doing all kinds of weird things with each other. And we all just let everyone be okay. We're not, we're all just letting everyone's got their own truth. That's the number one law of chaos that the ego gave you, is that everyone's got their own truth. No, we're sitting here watching the whole world. It's Arkham Asylum out there, and we're just letting everybody do it. Dress up and be crazy. Dress up just for your attention. Dress up and be weird on the internet. Not a single lick of any of them are real. They'll never be real. They'll never be real. So, and that is why the Holy Spirit must change. Must change your vision away from the insane egos out there that will do anything to grab your attention, that will dress up. I saw a weird little lady dressed up as a mosquito, doing all kinds of weird stuff. I don't understand any of it. 10 million views. What in the hell? Give me a break. I can't even break 300. This is ridiculous. This world is absurd. So if you we're going to laugh at it because of how absurd it is. Do I need to dress up like Mosquito or that gecko guy? That guy that paints himself green and talks to people? What is the deal? Ugh. What is the deal? Okay. I'm going crazy. Okay, so if you accept this change, we should accept the change because the ego is creating insanity and telling you all of these things and showing you all of these things that you do not want. You do not want. So if you accept this change, you have accepted the idea of making room for truth. You've accepted the idea of making room for truth. If you can understand the idea that your ego only wants you to see fear, wants you to place judgment outside of you, wants you to see and condemn and look into other people's pasts and talk bad about them inside alone in your head, hallucinate arguments with nobody alone inside of your head. If you can see the source of insanity that your own mind brings to you, and if you can accept this change, you have accepted the idea of making room for truth and not illusions anymore. You're making room for truth and not illusions. The source of sin is gone. God is healing your mind of sin. That is the only thing that God could do because you're the holy child. So the source of sin is the ego. I like to say the ego's not your amigo because all it does is hallucinate, just like all the AI and stuff. It hallucinates. So the source of sin is gone when you stop believing in the thing that hallucinates fear, terror, torture, and then places it away from you in some far off land that you'll never see, never be a part of. So the source of sin is gone if you can change your mind. You may imagine that you still experience its effects. You're imagining that you can still experience fear, right? But it is not your purpose, and you no longer want fear. That's the problem with the mind of the ego. It wants fear. What a weird thing to want. What a contradiction in all of sanity. All of sanity is that I want fear in my mind. I want hatred in my mind. That is insane thinking. The source of sin, which is your ego, which is creating time, wants you to see sin and place it everywhere outside of you so that you can understand that God is dead. And God's not dead because God's right there. Right there. Looking right at him. Right. Looking right at him. God's not dead. God's right there. So that's what your ego's doing. Well, what a manipulator. What a liar. What, and we still buddy up with this thing like it's our best friend. We still buddy up with our fear like it's something that we desire more than our love. How could that be possible? Unless you wanted to claim your insanity. Oh, I want to sit here and hate people. I want that in my mind. That's insane thinking. So no one allows a purpose. The source of sin is gone. You may imagine that you still experience its effects, but it is not your purpose and you no longer want it. You no longer want fear. You no longer want sin. You've seen the other reality, the one that's full of joy, full of love, full of God, that you could choose to be a part of. Every time that you understand that your ego's insane and is telling you to hate yourself and hate everything outside of you, that's the only thing you really have to understand. That's not really you. Did you know that? It's not really you. That is something separate from what you really are. That is something you created to help you separate from the thing that you are, which helped you create your world outside of you. So the source of sin is gone. We want that thing gone. This it will follow grimly or happily, but always with faith and with the persistence that faith inevitably brings. The power of faith is never recognized if it is placed inside of sin. You cannot place faith inside of sin. You cannot place faith inside of error. You cannot place faith inside of judgment of time. But it is always recognized if it is placed inside of love. You can place faith inside of love. You know that faith and peace, they go hand in hand. If you place those ideas right next to each other, you know, you don't have to place faith and peace together. They come hand in hand. But if you place faith with your love, it will always be recognized. Always. These are your ideas, right? We're not talking about if you have a loving reality. We're talking about the meaning that you're assigning your reality, because you can change your mind. You've always had the power to do that. You could always see something different. You've always had the power to change your mind. Why is it so strange to you that faith can move mountains? That's a question mark. Question. This is indeed a little feat for such a power. For faith can keep the Son of God in chains as long as he believes he is in chains. Your faith has kept you in chains. Your faith has kept you, your faith in your ego has kept you sitting inside a jail cell with the gates wide open, and the guards had gone home for the evening. They went home to kiss their wives or whatever they do. You know, so your ego, your faith and your fear has placed you in the jail cell. And the jail cell is not even really there. You're creating it. You're creating it. Why is it strange to you that faith can move mountains? This is indeed a little feat for such a power. For faith can keep the Son of God in chains as long as they believe they are in chains. As long as he believes he is in chains. As long as she believes she is in chains. Your faith will keep you away from God. And when they are released from them, it will be simply because he no longer believes in them. No longer believes in the chains. You know that story about the cave? Plato's story of the cave? And how there's people, about how there's one guy who breaks free from the cave, and he always would come back in to tell people about how wonderful it is out there, how beautiful it is out there, if you could just see something different. And they all told him he was insane. This is their view. This is the view of the cave. That's the ego. That's not hard to understand. The view of the ego is painting the cave wall in front of you. It's trapped you. It's put up a barrier of fear and terror all around you, and it's kept you bound to that which it created, but is also unreal, which is time. Whoa. Now we're doing it, right? Now we're going to end time. We're going to end sin. We're going to end suffering. So why is this strange? Why is this strange to you that faith can move mountains? This is indeed a little feat for such a power. For faith can keep the Son of God in chains as long as he believes he is in chains. And when he is released from them, it will be simply because he no longer believes in them. Withdrawing faith that they can hold him and placing it in his freedom instead. You place your faith in your love, in your freedom, instead of your faith in your fear and your terror, right? It is impossible to place equal faith in opposite directions. You cannot place them both ways. You're either more fearful in your faith right now, or more faithful in your fear, or you're going to be more faithful in your love. You cannot balance these. It is impossible to place equal faith in opposite directions. What faith you give to sin, error, judgment that gets placed into time, you take away from holiness. What you do to time, you take away from what is already complete and already whole. Holiness is just whole. You're whole. You got holiness, You're whole. It's already complete and already done. It's already been completed. You're unwinding time. you're not really doing much of anything. And, this is the one thing that this course asks. It asks so little of you, but you gain so much. You gain everything. You gain the power of God. God himself, the real one, not the one that's out there condemning and terrorizing the whole world. Not the one that's out there telling them that you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Not that one, because that one's not real. And so it is impossible to place equal faith in opposite directions. And what faith you give to sin, you take away from holiness. And what you offer holiness has been removed from sin. It's the dual mind that we're working through. The one that's creating illusions of time, and that being more real than what you're already in. You wake up in reality a lot of all throughout the day. Oh, wow, I'm in reality. I got to think a little bit. This is it's your this is yours. The whole world, it's yours. You created it. You give it meaning, shape, and form. You form mass at a subatomic level. You're powerful. You don't remember how powerful you are. And the only reason you don't is because you got a mind telling you you're not powerful, and it keeps giving all your power away to the world that it created, so that you are in prison. Faith and belief, faith. Sometimes I just go off and I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying 99% of my life. So sometimes I'll just go off, and then once it's over, I just laugh, because whatever the hell just came out of me, whatever. Spirit, take my body, take my mind. I don't care. Take it. I don't want any of this. So have fun with it. All right, here we go. Faith and belief and vision are the means by which the goal of holiness is reached. So faith and belief and vision. Do you know that belief is creating where you place your vision? So if you believe in fear, guess where your vision is gonna be placed? You are the grand observer of all things. So if you got even the smallest little iota of fear, if you believe in even the tiniest bit of fear, you're distorting reality. I know it sounds hard, but it's actually the easiest thing that you've ever done, is to just be loving and to be forgiving and to treat everybody as you see them. Because when you see them, you see yourself. You're projecting them forward. And it's really just you. It's always been you. It's always been you. And I have this. I should use it. This is his direction. Through them, the Holy Spirit leads you to the real world and away from all illusions where your faith was laid. That's the faith in time, right? The faith in the contingency plan. A contingency plan is where you believe in a past or a future that's not really there, that may happen, but there's no logical proof that it will happen. So now you're doing everything you can to make it happen. And when it doesn't happen, you're going to be real upset and real sad. And you're going to go into another dream inside of your mind to figure out where you went wrong. And you're going into psychosis. You're Christopher Nolan. I got stuck on repeat. Christopher Nolan and yourself right into oblivion. Nobody wants that insanity. Nobody wants that insanity. So this is his direction. The only one God ever sees is now. The only one this is God's direction. The only one that God can see is now. Your thoughts of a past and a future are not there. They will never be there. They're not even connected to reality. How could God even have any idea what that is? Your world is different than God's, obviously, because of how absurd it is. Because of how insane it is. Because of how crazy it is out there. Because of how all the people are doing all the weird things out there that don't make no sense to you. So that's why you know that this world is not yours. It's not God's either. It can't be God's, because if that was God's, you're trying to make this world God's world, and that's why you're so upset. That's not God's world. That's your world that you're separated from God to create, right? And so you're trying to find all your tolerance and your forgiveness. Oh, I just got to accept them for what they are. But no, you let your own visions of yourself delve into psychosis and insanity. What for? Well, they're you. You're going to let them all go. You're going to let them drop into whatever illusions that AI's got coming for them, whatever delusions that, their mind is telling them. Are you going to let them go? They're going to be right in front of you asking for help. Are you just going to let them be in their psychosis because their truth is different than yours? They can't. Their truth is not different than yours. That's the number one chaotic law the ego has produced for you to believe in. The truth is the same for everybody. If there was a million different truths, not a single one of them would ever be true. Not a single one. Not a single one. You can't divide truth. There's only one truth, and it's only God. That's the only thing that could ever logically be here besides what you think is there outside of your reality in the projected space-time that you believe is there but is not really there. Whoa, we're doing it. We're doing it. If you love what I do, there's people here, which is really cool. People never really sit with me. So if you love what I do, consider supporting me. I know it's really hard for everybody. I know we're all suffering out there, and we're all just doing the best we can. But yeah, if you got extra love to give, consider sending some my way, because I haven't eaten today, so it's really hard in my world right now. And I'm not sure why. I have a brilliant mind, and I have a job, and everything is just kind of going somewhere. So we don't know. Oh man. This is why I teach all this stuff, so I can get out of this. I don't know what's going on anymore. Okay, we're going back into the book. I'm sorry to give you a piece of whatever hell I live in right now, because it's hell. So that's not real, because right now, all that's real is God. That's the only thing that could be real right now is God. Because that's what we're talking about, is God. We're talking about our love and our joy, and we don't have to think about all of the stuff outside that we think is coming in to get us. We don't have to, because that's what is actually making the things come inside to get us. It's our belief that it's there and that we can be harmed. And no one said that undoing time and getting rid of your fear was going to be easy. Nobody ever told you that, but it is actually the most easiest thing that you could ever do. We just got a lot of resistance to the truth. We got a lot of resistance to God, because we've thought God to be a punisher and a condemner since the beginning of time. He gave us sin. We can't sin. We got to get into his good graces. Who came up with those rules besides the ego? Goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, and when you have accepted them completely instead of yours, because your egoic world isn't that great, you will have need of them no longer. For faith and vision and belief are meaningful only before the state of certainty is reached. So certainty is when time is done. So this is when it becomes your past. This is the only point that your belief in faith and in heaven and in peace, this is the only time that it matters, is before the experience even begins, right? Because there is no time. So there's a jump off where you're already pre-giving the meaning to whatever is going on out here. This is where you want to find your faith. This is where you want to find, for faith and vision and belief are meaningful only before the state of certainty is reached. In heaven, they are unknown. You don't need it when you have a quiet mind. So heaven's here when your mind is quiet and you're not listening to the thing that hates you and wants to destroy the world. So you're in heaven when you're not listening to the thing that is trying to destroy you. In heaven, they are unknown. So you don't need faith or vision in heaven because you're happy. That's what your happiness. You have it. And when you're happy, you don't need to even really perceive much. You're just happy. You're just being joyous. You're just moving. You're going with it. You're rolling with the punches. You could be knocked down. You get right back up with a smile. You kiss them on the forehead. You're the holy child of God. Why wouldn't you? And so this is your idea. This is you changing reality. And you know that God backs you up every step of the way because now you're connected to God. And so this is, let me go back because I lost my place. For faith and vision and belief are meaningful only before the state of certainty is reached. In heaven, they are unknown. Yet in heaven, it is reached through them. So you got to have them first, and then you get into heaven right away. Is your faith. Your faith before the state of certainty when your past is already there. I know it's a lot to understand, but I'm grateful that people can sit and understand me. It is impossible that the Son of God lack faith. It is impossible that you lack faith. You know that there is no sex here. Let me just get this out of the way so people don't get ostracized or let's act like they're being cut out. There is no sex. There is no sex. There's no male or female. You know, that's why everyone just wants the unity. Well, you got to stop seeing sex everywhere. You know, the sex outside of you is your belief that there are bodies more special than the one than yours. That you need another, that you need something out there to complete you when you don't. You don't. So you form mass at a subatomic level around energy to perceive something that you think that you want when you're actually just in denial of your own body because you hate that thing. We all know that you do. And so you're seeking another body so that you can claim it as your own because you think that they stole yours because you want it more than yours. Whoa. Bye-bye, ego. See you later. All of your games are done. So it is impossible that the Son of God lack faith, but he can choose where he would have it be. Faithlessness is not a lack of faith, but faith in nothing. Faithlessness is not a lack of faith, but faith in nothing. So faithlessness, when you don't have any faith in you, you're just not doing anything. It's nothing. It's nothing. It doesn't even really exist. So faith given to illusions does not lack power. So when you believe in your time thoughts, it does not lack power, for by it does the Son of God believe that he is powerless. So these are the things that are removing your power from you, so you're giving away to the visions inside of your head. Thus is he faithless to himself. Thus is she faithless to herself. Thus are they faithless to themselves. Thus are you faithless to yourself because you give all your faith to your external reality. You have no idea anymore. You're letting other egos control everything, control your whole belief system, control everything. And that is not what God needs you to do. These egos are lost. They need the light more than anything. God does not need you to join with them. God needs you to shine and be the holy child like you are. For faith, perception, and belief you made as means for losing certainty and finding sin. So you lose certainty and you're finding sin now. This mad direction was your choice, and by your faith in what you chose, you made what you desired. You made the world of fear outside of you. You desired it because you chose your fear, your fearful mind, more than God. You have a dual mind. You know that's what you have. That's that you're bound. You think that you're bound to it, but you're not really. You're just hallucinating. You're just hallucinating time, and you're outside of reality. The people don't go away. No one's telling you to drink some magic Kool-Aid that's going to take you up in the spaceship ride. Nobody is telling you that. We're just telling you that your fear is unreal. And it doesn't make any sense to believe it's there. It's unreal. It's unreal. And every time that you believe it's there, you're making it be real with your power. You're manifesting it right out in front of you. And so he's coming in with that holy reminder. This mad direction was your choice, and by your faith in what you chose, you made what you desired. The Holy Spirit has a use for all the means for sin by which you sought to find it. It has a means for all of the error, all of the judgment that you have inside of your mind against what you think is going on outside of here. But as he uses them, they lead away from sin. They're not leading you towards more sin, which is what the ego usually does, is that, well, if I'm going to judge and condemn, I'm going into more sin. Now I'm doing all the weird things in my mind. So he sees the means you use, which is the judgment. He sees judgment. You do it automatically. It's not like you have to get rid of judgment. You just want to redefine how you judge things. Because you're the powerful one here. So he sees the means you use, but not the purpose for which you made them. He would not. So he's saying that you made a purpose of judgment against his, and so he doesn't know why you did that when you could just see the perception of God always. So it's quite brilliant when you break it down like this. So he would not take them from you, for he sees their value as a means for what he wills for you. This is God. He wills happiness for you. He wills happiness and joy for you. You made perception. That's just a blank done. You made perception. You made how you see. You made perception that you might choose among your brothers and sisters and seek for sin with them, where you're using their bodies for what you think that the bodies are bringing something of value to you, but they can't, And so when the body doesn't bring you anything of value, you start to, push them away. You start to judge them. You start to, well, now you're not using the body the way I want you to use the body. And so it's always been you joining in these weird little relationships with your brothers and your sisters out there, creating what you desire, which is really sin. And I know that's hard to hear. You got to laugh at it at least a little bit because, not a lot of people want to hear this, and at least somebody's talking about it. At least somebody's talking about it. At least you know the truth that if all people see you for is the body, they don't got any good means for you. They don't got any good thoughts for you. They're gonna use you. They're gonna abuse you. If they look into time a whole bunch to produce fear and terror and produce hatred, they ain't got much to give to you. They ain't gonna do anything for you. They ain't going to help fix you. And so the stuff that out there is not really the bad stuff, right? That stuff is not really for you. So the Holy Spirit sees perception as a means to teach you that the vision of the holy relationship is all you want to see. I want to see everything as sinless. I want to see everything as peaceful. Then you will give your faith to holiness inside of your mind instead of fear inside of your mind, which is your ego. And the Holy Spirit sees perception as a means to teach you that the vision of the holy relationship is what you want to see. Then you will give your faith to holiness, desiring and believing in it because of your desire. Faith and belief become attached to vision. So that's your thought system has changed. Your beliefs, right? I see. So before certainty even exists, I want faith and I want peace, right? So faith and belief. Faith and belief, faith and peace, faith and belief become attached to your vision. Now you're looking for it instead of the other way. And now your whole reality is changing. So it becomes attached to your vision. As all the means that once served sin are redirected now towards holiness. Oh, wait, they're not sinful. I'd have to go into time to see them as sinful. I'd have to pull into their past to bring up their past to the right now and condemn them right now for me to see them as sinful. I'd rather just have peace. I don't have to correct them. I don't have to change their mind. I just want peace right now, so maybe I'll just be quiet. Maybe I'll just smile and tell them I love them and then be on my way. So this is really you getting rid of your ideas for you having to change anything, which you don't. You could always remove yourself from any situation. Guess what? Your power has been returned to you. You're no longer given the power to the world. The world did not make you because God did. God made you. Faith and belief become attached to vision as all the means that once served sin are redirected now towards holiness. For what you think is sin is limitation. Sin is not real. God didn't create sin, so it can't be real. The ego created sin. And so it's not real because it's caught inside of time where it doesn't exist. And so what you think to be sin is actually just a limitation, a limiting belief on what your brothers and your sisters are, right? And whom you try to limit to the body you hate because you fear. And if you're placing everybody in their body, it's separate from you. It's because you're scared of them. They're not separate from you. They can never be separate from you. They are you. They're your beliefs of what's there. So that's why you think that the separation is there. Is because you're afraid of the humans out there because you don't think that they're you. They are you. You give them meaning, shape, and form. You tell yourself how to define them. You tell yourself what to think about them. They are you. You're running all the people through your egoic filter of beliefs, and you're judging some in a light way, and you're condemning others in a different way, all based off what their body is or how they're speaking and all of this other stuff. So, but but for what you think is sin is limitation, and whom you try to limit to the body you hate because you fear. In your refusal to forgive them, you would condemn them to the body because the means for sin are dear to you. I know it's hard to understand, but sin is your belief. Let me redefine this. Bodies are your belief in sin made manifest outside of you. I know. You're God. I'm going to saying hard stuff. So your idea of bodies outside of you is your belief in sin become manifest because you think that you've sinned against God, and now you're sitting down here in hell, witnessing all your brothers and sisters hurt each other, and maybe you'll get some love every now and then. You'll experience war, famine. You'll be the prodigal son, like always, So it is the bodies are your own belief in sin made manifest. You can still see the bodies, but look past them. See past the bodies so that you're not looking at what you think they are. You know that inside of every single body is the Holy Son of God. Every single body, because you're giving it to them. They don't remember what they are. How could they? You hardly remember what you are. You'll forget all about this once this whole thing is over. So they don't remember. It's up to you to remember what you are and extend God, extend love, extend care and forgiveness to them so that they stop listening to the mind of time, the mind of fear that is terrorizing and beating them up behind closed doors where nobody can see. That's how easy it is. That's not that hard. It's not that hard. It sounds hard. It doesn't sound hard at all. It sounds really easy. Sounds really easy. And so the body has your faith and your belief. You give it, it's automatic. You give your body your faith and your belief. It's just part of, that's what the ego created for you to exist in, your communication device down here. But holiness would set you free. Removing hatred by removing fear, not as a symptom, but at its source, which is the body. The source is the body, is fear. You think that's the only reason that you ever hallucinate fear, so you think bodies are coming in to get you. You think that there's bodies hiding in the dark corner. All bodies are just a symbol of fear to all minds. It's really weird. But we'll do anything we can to pull one in, and just one. It's got to be a certain special one, and that's where we get into the unholiness of it all. But the holiness would set you free, and your brothers and sisters out there. Removing hatred by removing fear, not as a symptom. I'm just feeling hatred right now. It's not a symptom, but we're removing it at its source, which is the ego. It is the ego. That's the source of hatred and fear and pain and terror and trauma. Those who would free their brothers and sisters from the body can have no fear. I know it sounds like we're doing some really weird stuff, but this is actually the most sane, logical mind to have. Get rid of your ideas that you're in this body. Just be your consciousness. It's okay. Once you get rid, because you've given a lot of your faith and your belief to this thing, it's the way you've been trained to see it, and so now you think you are this thing and you can experience whatever this thing is going to make you experience, but you can't. It's logically impossible to experience the stuff that it's your belief in the body, especially when you are seeing the state of certainty in the past always, right? And so it's your idea of sickness inside of your mind that creates sickness for you to experience out in reality. Sickness is not real because you are not a body. It's not real. It can't be real. Sickness cannot be real. You just have a mind that tells you to believe in your sickness. And then you got 10,000 other different pieces of you backing up your belief. You got doctors, you got therapists, you got all the other people telling you, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. Your belief is being projected out here. You can't be sick. You're the holy gosh dang sun. Holy gosh dang it. Those who would free their those who would free their brothers and sisters from the body can have no fear. They have renounced the means for sin by choosing to let all limitations be removed from them. As they desire to look upon their brothers and sisters in holiness, the power of belief and faith goes far beyond the body, supporting vision, not obstructing it, right? So fear obstructs your vision because it denies stuff. I deny this because it's fearful, so I'm going to look the other, So fear is obstructing your real vision of reality. But first they choose to recognize how much their faith had limited their understanding of the world, desiring to place its power elsewhere. Should another point of view be given them? Should another point of view be given you from something out there, you're now giving your power away. For all who choose to look away from sin are given real vision. Sin is caught in time and is not really there. So for all who choose to look away from sin are given the vision of God, the vision of real reality, and are led right into his embrace, right into holiness. Those who believe in sin must think the Holy Spirit asks for sacrifice. We've been trained to believe that, we got to suffer, we got to make sure that God knows that we've sacrificed everything for him. What a crazy thought. So those who believe in sin must thank the Holy Spirit asks for sacrifice. For this is how they think their purpose is accomplished, is that they are going to seek and seek and seek, and they're going to sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice, and then maybe at the end of their life, when it's all over and then maybe they'll get into heaven, when actually there's no heaven out there. Sorry. It's already here. It's right in front of you. So you could have heaven right now. You don't have to wait until your death. You could have it right now. It's right in front of you. It's always been right here. You just don't know. You just don't want to see it because you like to believe in your fear a lot. He makes, for those who believe in sin must think the Holy Spirit asks for sacrifice. For this is how they think their purpose is accomplished. Brothers and sisters, the Holy Spirit knows that sacrifice brings nothing. When has sacrifice ever brought you anything of value? When has hurting yourself ever brought you anything of value? When has it? When has sacrifice brought you anything of value? He makes no bargains, and if you seek to limit God in your mind, if you seek to limit him, you will hate him because you are afraid of him. You limit everything with your egoic beliefs about what you think you deserve, and you're not open to receive. And so, if you seek to limit God, you will hate God because you are afraid of God, which is what that means is that you're just afraid of loving yourself. You're afraid of love. You're afraid of unconditional love and forgiveness because you think you don't deserve it. The gift that he has given you is more than anything that stands this side of heaven. The gift that he has given you inside of your mind stands is more than anything that stands this side of heaven. The instant for its recognition is at hand. Join your awareness to what has already been joined. You know that everything's already complete and done. You're witnessing the end of time. So just sit back and relax, buckle up and put a smile on and have fun. It's already done. It's already over. There's nothing you can do. You're anticipating and remembering past and futures that are not there. You are looking into a past. You're just creating a cycle of nothing. And what else? What else we got there? Nothing. Okay. The instant for its recognition is at hand. Join your awareness to what has already been joined. The faith you give your brothers and sisters can accomplish this. For he who loves the world is seeing it for you. Your loving mind inside of you, he loves the world. He is going to see it for you because you hate this world and you don't want to see that world anymore. We're ending the world you don't want. You just got to give up your egoic identity of what you think you are. Sounds easy, right? Sounds easy, right? It is. Join your awareness to what has already been joined. The faith you give your brother can accomplish this. For he who loves the world is seeing it for you, without one spot of sin upon it, and in the innocence that makes the sight of it as beautiful as heaven. It's right in front of you. There's no sin anywhere. It's right here. You ever cue into it? You know, I got to create the situations for there to not be peace. I have to choose unpeace for there not to be peace. I have to choose differently than peace. I have to choose differently than love and God for there not to be peace. But every time I choose love and God, guess what? Well, there's peace. You know, that's just simplicity. That's how God is. Simple, 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 simple. The mind, where did my bookmark go? I threw it. We got heated. We got a little heated. Okay, so in the innocence that makes the sight of it as beautiful as heaven. Your faith in sacrifice. We have faith in sacrifice. So if we have faith that we got to go suffer to gain, we got to go. We got to take from others to gain. Where we got to sacrifice to gain. That's craziness. Your faith in sacrifice has given it great power in your sight. So that's why you see it everywhere out there, is because you've given your faith to that instead of the real stuff that's around you. Except you do not realize you cannot see because of it, because the stuff that's not around you, that's in your mind, in your thoughts, is not really there. So you're actually blinding yourself to reality. So he's saying, he's not even cutting words, except you do not realize you cannot see because of it, whenever you're listening to your mind of time. For sacrifice must be exacted of a body and by another body. The mind can neither ask it nor receive it of itself, and no more could the body. The intention is in the mind, which tries to use the body to carry out the means for sin in which the mind believes. So that's all that the ego can discuss. That's why that's all you hear people talking about, is the stuff that they hate, the stuff that they don't like. So this is, all of the sin, this is all of the stuff that the ego does. So the intention is in the mind, which tries to use the body to carry out the means for sin in which the mind believes. Thus is the joining of the mind and body an inescapable belief for those who value sin. That's why most people don't want to give up their body, because they value sin. There's sin. That's why most people think that I'm a crazy, I need to be eating chocolate bars on a boat somewhere. I don't even know where that came from. So thus is the joining of the mind and body an inescapable belief of those who value sin. Because now you're going to condemn them if they don't act the way that you want them to act. Now you're going to condemn the people that aren't even around you. You're going to argue with things in your mind. And so you're not really a part of reality anymore. And so is sacrifice invariably a means for limitation and thus for hate. Any kind of sacrifice is actually hate. Even if you're sacrificing for yourself, you're hating yourself. I'm sorry. You should never suffer. You're the holy child of God. Why would you ever willingly choose suffer for some hallucinated future that the ego will never bring to you or let you have without any guilt? Without any guilt, So why would you ever want to suffer for this thing anymore? The ego ain't your amigo. It ain't even real. It ain't even real. It's not really there. It only talks of stuff that is unreal. It only creates visions of unreality. It is only a thing that is a lie to begin with. It cannot do what it thinks it can do. It is a contradiction in and of itself. It cannot exist like this anymore. The ego is done. It's over. It's done with. Bye-bye. Don't need you. Your fear is meaningless. It's never meant anything. I don't want it. It means nothing. I'm holy. I'm safe. I'm with God. I'm always there. I'll always be there. And God will always see me through. And I will never listen to the mind that wants to see me in terror. Why would I? Thank you. Thank you. The Holy Spirit is concerned with this. The Holy Spirit is not really concerned with your ideas of sacrifice or hatred. He gives not what it is his purpose to lead you from. So he's not giving you those ideas, but it is his purpose to lead you from the ideas of sacrifice and sin. It is his idea inside of you. That's why you always feel guilt whenever you do something bad. That's not your whatever, your consciousness or whatever we like to think. That's legitimately God. Legitimately Jesus talking to you. You know, you probably didn't do that the right way, did you? Now we're gonna. He's not giving you the guilt. It's you giving yourself the guilt. So he's even telling you, he's trying to lead you away from the guilt that you're trapping inside of time. He gives not what it is his purpose to lead you from. So he can't give you the guilt, the sin, the error. The ego gives that to you first, and then God comes in, Holy Spirit comes in, your higher self comes in and says, we're going to lead you away from this. Or you're going to sit and you're going to listen to your ego create all of these stories and all these visions inside of your mind to hurt you. Be good. You think he would deprive you from your good. You think that God, would deprive you from your good. But good and deprivation are opposites and cannot meaningfully join in any way. It is like saying that the moon and sun are one because they come with night and day, and so they must be joined. Yet sight of one is but the sign the other has disappeared from sight, right? So there's only one always. It's either night or day, what you can see. So neither demands the sacrifice of the other. Your mind is legitimately the sun and the moon, the holy sun and the not so forgiving moon. Hey, we should be a comedian. That wasn't even funny. Okay, let's keep going. Neither demands the sacrifice of the other. Yet on the absence of the other does each depend on. So you can't have one with the other, right? So the absence of other each does depend on. This is the last paragraph. I'm going to go to bed. The body was made to be a sacrifice to sin, and in the darkness so it still is seen. Yet in the light of vision it is looked upon quite differently. You can have faith in it to serve the Holy Spirit's goal and give it power to serve as means to help the blind to see. That's the function that Holy Spirit gave you, is to help the blind people see. What does that mean? Are you going to go around touching people? Are you a faith healer now? No. The blind people are the people that are lost in their thoughts of the mind that hates them. That's a blind person, is that they're listening to this thing that hates them. And so now you know that you just got to bring them back on out of it, you know? So, but Holy Spirit's goal in giving it power to serve as a means to help the blind to see. But in their seeing, they look past it, and as do you. The faith and the belief you gave it belongs beyond. You gave perception and belief and faith from mind to body. Let them now be given back to what produced them and can use them still to save itself from what it made. I return my body to God. I relinquish my ego. I relinquish it. Do away with this thing. It's mean. It's mean, God. Do away with it. That's it. There's people here. I'm grateful. There was a lot of people here. There's a lot of people here. People don't ever really come around, so I'm grateful. It's really weird. But that is the truth of reality in a nutshell, in a small little hour. I'm a really brilliant mind, and I'm going to waste, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, that's, I guess nothing, right? I don't know. I feel like there's more for me to do, but it's probably, I don't know what's real. So maybe there's more for me to do, but I probably just did it because there's a lot of people here, so I probably just did what I was supposed to do. Because there's zero usually. So that was probably what I thought there was more I was supposed to do, so that was it. So I'm grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful. If you love what I do, I have a Cash App and a Venmo. Consider supporting me because we need it. We need it. I know we all need it, but goodness gracious. I love you so much. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed. And I love you. And I mean it. Bye, 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 bye. Bye.